CCIW is proud to participate in the NCAA Office of Inclusion's Diversity and Social Media Campaign, held October 27th to the 29th. As part of this campaign, the CCIW will conduct a series of interviews where we talk to student athletes, coaches, and administrators throughout the conference to get a sense of how the CCIW membership is fostering an inclusive environment. Today, we welcome in Elmhurst senior track and field student athlete, Stefan Postman. Stefan, thank you for joining us today.
You're very welcome.
So with that, we'll go right into my series of questions here that I wanted to ask. Could you just describe your experience with Elmhurst athletics and just give some examples of how you and your teammates have worked to foster an inclusive environment?
Yeah, ever since joining the football team here, that's what I got introduced to and recruited as. I actually wasn't recruited as a track and field runner. It was a lot of fun. It was difficult. It was trying because the football program hasn't been the best here, but end up pushing through. My reason for quitting was just my focus had to shift to a grad school, and money is tight, so I had to make a choice. But aside from that, I got a lot of my teammates. I guess technically my former teammate Alex Hall. We together just ever since the events since George Floyd have gone on, we just been communicating over the summer, like what can we do, type of things, and we ended up creating an organization called EMA, Elmhurst Minoritized and Allies, on campus, and we just had a big mural event for BLM, huge BLM mural event. It was held in the Frick Center. It was really good, and I think that was like our first bit because like we're a new organization. That was kind of our inaugural event. So yeah, it kicked off. I think it went really well. We had a lot of speakers. Dr. Jakes, he put in some words that really hit home, put things into perspective. So it was really good, and I think just going on my last year, I think I'm happy the way I could start it off.
Great. Well, what does it take for these conversations to take place, and how should student athletes begin those discussions surrounding fostering an inclusive environment?
Yeah, it's difficult. You gotta make sure you're comfortable around people you're comfortable with, in an environment you're comfortable with. If you, whether that person is of any type of color, race, doesn't matter. If you're not comfortable talking to them about the issues, and maybe you think, or maybe you feel that you maybe are a little too passionate, and maybe you are going to, for the lack of a better term, spaz out on them, type of thing. Maybe wait. Just get with someone you're comfortable with talking about the issue. Does that make sense?
Yeah, absolutely. No, I totally hear you there.
It is difficult. It's a touchy subject, but it has to be talked about eventually.
Absolutely. So you mentioned the organization you started, but what can athletic departments, maybe the administrators and coaches, do to foster discussion and make sure underrepresented populations are able to share their perspectives?
Oh, as a matter of fact, I was on the ADEIC for Elmhurst, and Wendy actually drafted up a great document to help foster that inclusion. Just getting athletes that are underrepresented into the college, focusing on recruiting them, focusing on giving them a voice, focusing on opening spaces for administration, for student athletes, to get together and talk about those issues the same way, just to, I guess, exemplify that comfortability.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. And just lastly, outside of setting up an organization like you did, what else can student athletes do to help show support for one another, aside from just talking about the issues? What are some action steps that they can take?
I say going forward and doing your own research. I know that it's definitely a big thing people say, but it's serious. Don't take everything. Don't take every piece of information somebody else gives you just because they are that person. Maybe you trust them. Go look for yourself, because everybody is biased. Everybody has their own bias. It is what it is. You can't change the fact that you're a human being, so you're gonna have bias. You gotta look for yourself. I say that's the biggest thing, and really might be the only option to go do it for yourself.
Sure, sure. Well, Stefan, I want to thank you for your time this afternoon and really wish you the best going forward in your organization and the work you're doing in your final year on campus at Elmhurst. And I hope everything goes well for you this